All right, so let's get Jim Crawford in here because we want to have
he's in here. He's sitting right next to you.
I mean, into the conversation. Is anyone else out there married? It's not easy. All right, so Jim.
All right, Jim. So last week's salmonella sparked over what is it?
It's a half a billion
egg recall, which really may bolster a growing trend for locally produced eggs and alternative markets. Wright County Eggs and Hillendale Farms, both of Iowa, were prompted to make the recall after a number of illnesses, which when we checked yesterday, or as of Wednesday, was almost 1,500. Yeah. And were traced back to only 2 producers.
But mega producers.
Right. So what does that mean for the egg industry overall? So how and why does something like this happen? Jim, we turn the floor over to you.
Talking about the egg industry, as a farmer with 300 chickens, I'm not really qualified to talk about the whole egg industry, but I think it says a lot about consolidation and scale, large scale in all the food, in all agriculture, that when you get, that many animals together, in what we call concentrated CAFOs, concentrated animal feeding operations, you always create a large risk because you're doing such an enormous quantity in one place with one, input, one feed flow, I guess you'd say, or whatever. Mm-hmm. So you just stand the chance of, just by the math, of creating a lot more risk. And it all comes to consolidation, which of course we are, represent the opposite of. We are a small family farm, and we have, as I said, 300 laying hens, and so our scale is totally different. The industry typically, one building will house 100,000 or 80,000 laying hens in one building. The feed goes in one pipe, and the manure comes out another pipe, and the eggs come out another pipe, and so it's a lot different than the way we do it.
Okay, so when we talk about 100,000 chickens in one building. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's sort of hard to picture what that would look like. Mm-hmm. But those chickens aren't just walking around laying eggs. I mean, what is the setup like? Can you explain it?
No, they're not walking around at all. They're in little cages. I've been in them a lot of times. They're all around. I mean, they're not all around the way egg farms used to be because they used to be smaller. But when you find one, it's not that hard to find one, and you can go in there and look, and it's amazing. It's just amazing. You stand at one end and you can't even see the other end of the building. It just disappears into the mist back there, and there's just literally thousands and thousands of little cages with these chickens in them, and they're on tiers, so they're sort of like on different floor. I mean, not
Okay, you make it sound like Auschwitz.
Levels. I know it sounds terrible.
It's pretty ugly. I don't know. I mean, chickens aren't really that sensitive, so I don't know how it affects them, but it's ugly.
No PETA calling, please. No PETA remarks today. We're just talking about
I'm not here to talk about PETA.
Well, just let me jump in, because obviously when you have that kind of mass, it would be, if you had humans together or anything, there's a greater chance for one chicken to make lots of chickens sick. But
yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Salmonella, I read a report that salmonella basically lives in the ovaries of the chicken, and depending on the sort of the chicken's overall health, it's like a staph infection that's in a human. If your immune system is compromised, the staph infection can burst out. Is that so? Because you told me earlier you thought it was in the feed.
Well, I just read. I don't know much more about this event than anybody else, or any more really. But what I read myself in the paper was that it's about the feed, or at least that's their theory right now. Yeah,
right.
The theory that the feed was contaminated, and of course, one little speck of contamination goes in and gets fed to 100,000 chickens at once. So it gets into all or many of those eggs all at once. So, but that's all I know, is that it was the feed this time. I think it's also possible that you can contaminate them with just by not washing the eggs right and that kind of normal sanitation. But there's different ways that salmonella get in there. But
can you just tell us a little bit about egg production? Like, tell us about a chicken and how a chicken produces an egg, because I didn't know this. You told me this off air earlier. So
did you skip school or something?
I'm not talking about sex. I'm talking about
wait. I want to talk. Okay? This is a woman with 5 children. All right, if you all excuse us, we're going to take a commercial break, and I'm going to show.
No, seriously. How many eggs does a chicken lay? I'm serious. is.
Right, Nora O'Donnell just walked in with Chef Jay. This is not going on MSNBC. My God, how embarrassing.
How many? Okay.
Yes.
In the studio right now, how many eggs do you all think a chicken lays a day?
No,
25.
3 to 10.
A day, one chicken.
Boy, I say boy.
I'm going to guess 100.
First of all, picture a chicken weighs about 5 pounds. This little thing like this.
20.
And an egg is that big. So, it's not likely to be sending out 20 or 30 a day.
So how many
Don't they
eggs?
count them by the dozen?
But they just lay it, right.
They come out packaged.
Right, you just put it under the chicken.
Okay, so
They
can you
produ-
answer
as
my
chicken
apparently my
produces
stupid
one-
question?
Produces one egg every day.
help it.
Okay.
Yes, if he's healthy and if she rather is healthy and and everything's normal, she produces one egg every day. Yeah.
And is that 365 days a year?
Yeah, more or less, yeah. Mm-hmm.
All
As
right.
long as, yeah.
But let's get back to the salmonella thing, because your chickens are free range. They're out
Yeah.
eating grass and
Yeah.
seeds and all that. So, so does that basically essentially solve the contaminated feed problem?
No. No, I don't think it solves it. I mean, if our feed were contaminated, our feed is made, we don't make it ourselves. It's made in a local feed mill. And if it were contaminated with salmonella, like this feed apparently was, then ours.
So how do you test to make sure?
Well, I don't know how to test. I don't know. I know that they can certainly test feed to see if it's got salmonella. Whether they tested this feed or whether they were required to test this feed in this case, I don't know. But I sure hope they would be required, because when you're getting a batch of feed and feeding it to that many chickens, you really have an obligation to test it. Now, the feed that we feed our chickens may be tested. I'm not sure. It's a question I'm going to go right back home and call my feed people and ask them. Did they test it regularly? I don't know.
But here's
I
the
really
other,
don't know.
here's the other question. Salmonella can be killed by high enough temperatures. So I'm wondering if the people that were affected, were they eating just sort of runny scrambled eggs or something? If they just
but we all eat that all the time, and I don't want to stop either.
I don't either. I like them runny.
Yeah. So, you get these little warning things that cook your eggs thoroughly. Well, who's gonna, pay attention when they want, over easy eggs?
Right.
I mean, I'm not.
I got an ex-wife that used to cook them like a brick, which is one of the reasons for the divorce.
Okay.
All right, so
Cook your own eggs. My God.
I'm sure that the
Mrs.
advice
Ellis
I
is an
could
excellent
give.
cook, by the way. Thank you. All right, so
All right, but wait, but let's get back. But I think a lot of people think that when they go to their local farmer's market, that they're buying something that is, on a smaller scale, quite like your eggs are, and therefore these are healthier chickens. I mean, is that a right way of thinking?
Yeah, probably. Yeah, they're
Okay.
healthier in general. In a nebulous kind of way. I mean, we can't measure it, but our chickens certainly get a different diet than those big, huge egg farm chickens do, because our chickens are out on the ground and they're eating grass and bugs and all kinds of things that, we don't tell them to eat or let them eat. I mean, or push onto them. So, I mean, yeah, they're probably healthier, but I'm not sure that's any guarantee that they're not going to be. I mean, if our feed were sending them was salmonella contaminated, then I imagine, they would be dangerous eggs.
Jim is a local farmer. We want to ask him. He's part of the Tuscarora Farm Cooperative. I have no idea what that means, and we're going to find out.
But a lot of restaurateurs and
I also
foodies
want
in
to find
town
out how
certainly do.
stupid chickens really are, because the rumor is they're dumber than sticks. But Jim, tell us about Tuscarora.
Tuscarora is our marketing cooperative for 35 vegetable producers in south central Pennsylvania. And we've been going for 21 years, serving restaurants in D.C. and Baltimore, and also retailers and some institutions. Yes.
Well, let us
We're all
introduce you
organic
to
growers.
Jeff Tracy, who's right behind you. We're making commerce here. All right. Well, the other question is, how do folks, because you're in what's described as South Central Pennsylvania, so in reality, where's the farm, and how do people find you on the web?
Well, they can find us on the web really easy. We have a website that's newmorningfarm.net, not .com, but .net. And, that obviously tells you a lot about us. We are 120 miles northwest of D.C., and D.C., Washington is actually our nearest big city, believe it or not. People don't realize that, but it is. So we've been coming here for 39 years.
And which farmers markets? Can you found out?
We are at Sheridan School on Saturday mornings and Tuesday evenings.
Right
and then,
near where I grew up. How about that?
Sheridan
so
School Yard, which is a great little location for a nice little shady, quiet farmers market in the neighborhood. And then we're also at DuPont Circle right now. In fact, my wife's down there right now dishing out corn and tomatoes.
Okay,
Yes.
cool. And eggs?
And eggs, yeah.
So you're saying that your wife is down there dishing it out. That's
Well,
great. Nice
yeah.
tie-in. All right, well,
Yes.
Jim, thanks.
Jim, thank you so much for coming on this
I don't
morning.
think this salmonella problem's going away by any means, and so I think down the
Why
road
don't
we'd
you
like
just
to have you come back.
Push fear on everybody.
Well,
while
it's
you're
not.
at it.
It's not. It's
Scare everyone. It's not going away. That's not a way to.
okay. It's all solved, everybody. But I think in a couple of months it'd be good to have you come back, and once we know more, and sort of dig deeper into it. So
And you can send me an email about your feed.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. I'll go check
So
right away.
let's get back to listening to Aaron. Alyssa, how about some more details about Arts on Foot?